Ladies and gentlemen, Six Fig Stock Trader here on YouTube, and today we are going to be talking about Nervous Network CKB. And while we are still on the up and up, I do think that CKB is still in a position to trend upward from here. I know this sounds crazy at 2 cents, and we'll get into it in just a second. If you're on Twitter, hit me up on Twitter at Real6Fig. This is where I'm dropping all the latest and greatest charts, links to upcoming live streams, and videos. So with that said, I just kind of want to go ahead and shill this little NFT project that I've been working, primarily because, hey, CKB is down in price. So it's a good time to pick up some NFTs, things like that can possibly appreciate in nature. So we did release the dollar bill satire backside a couple days ago, and these really turned out nice in my opinion. Like I said, CKB's down, so hey, these are a lot cheaper than they were just a couple days ago. So let's really take a deep dive into CKB. And then we're going to go ahead and look at Bitcoin, because it's so important for us to recognize where exactly Bitcoin is at in the grand scheme of things in comparison to CKB. So when I'm saying that CKB is still sitting good, not a lot of cryptocurrencies out there can make this argument at this point in time. A lot of these things, like Ergo, are underwater right now. And I'm not picking on Ergo. It's just a chart that I was looking at before I did this video, and I just noticed that thing is in a free fall. But let's just keep our focus on CKB, and we can see that since November of 2020, folks, we have seen CKB continually impress us with new lows that keep getting higher. And we do have this little resistance right around 4.5 cents that we really need to break. But furthermore, I've been saying this in the past videos as well, that if this little inverse head and shoulders, and I shouldn't say a little because that's a big ass inverse head and shoulders, if this doesn't play out, if the market tanks, there's one thing that we might be able to possibly rely on. And as this market tanks, CKB couldn't have been in a better position, because yes, we did fall from 3.5 cents down to 2 cents. I believe that's right around a 45% decrease. And it stinks to see the value of our CKB plummet that much. But the caveat is that, hey, we were up right around this upper trend line where there could possibly be an ascending triangle that is building up. And as Bitcoin tanks, it gives us the freedom to fall in price from this upper trend line down to this trend line that we've been so happily trading along since November of 2020. So if you guys can get my drift here, that yes, the price stinks, but hey, if this is for the greater good, and let's just say for a second that we're able to bounce off this lower trend line, we're likely to possibly see prices return right back up to this 0.033, 0.03.5 cent level. And then we might just kind of bounce around up here before we make another move to the upside. So do I think that CKB is in a good position? Still, I do. I really do, folks. And I'm not here to BS you. So we were kind of comparing this area here to this area here. And there's one thing that I really want to bring to light now that we've seen some of these more all-time, or I should say recent highs at 3.5 cents, is that if we study this chart, we can see that this price action from here down to here up to here is what we could be kind of experiencing next. And I'm saying this because I do think that right now we might be seeing price action right here correlate with a spike like this. Meaning, hey, we had a nice bump here, come up, come back down, and we might be seeing something like this play out, but on a much grander scale. you can kind of see how price action might be kind of setting up for something very similar, to this little stretch down here. And I do think that right now CKB is going to hit less than 2 cents. We are sitting at just near 2 cents right now. But if I had to guess, I would say that we are going to come down and touch on this 200 moving average at or around 17 cents. And I do think that we are going to even fall further to test this trend line at maybe 0.0159, somewhere in there. So be ready. There might be another 20% decrease in price value before we can test this lower trend line. If we can't hold this lower trend line, folks, man, we're coming down to a penny. We're coming down to a penny, and I hate to say that, but I'm real with you guys on this stuff. If we get the reversal, it's back up to 3.5 cents, in my opinion. If we don't, it's down to a penny. So if the penny fails, man, oh man, we are on our way to 0.0078-ish cents, somewhere in there. We are. And we can almost see that there is the possibility of a head and shoulders formation that could be happening. And I've been kind of talking about this on and off, but we can see that there would be a clear neckline here, and there would be really nobody's surprised, I think, to see price come down and maybe bounce off this neckline and come up to retest this trend line before heading back to the downside, which might be this sub-penny level. So we really need to take a high-level look at Bitcoin. And if you guys enjoyed that little presentation I just did on CKB, please hit that like button. I truly depend on that like button like nobody else's business, simply because it really helps with the algorithm, keeps me motivated to keep cranking out these types of videos. I love my YouTube family, and I'd do anything for all of you, with that said. But here is Bitcoin dominance. And we can see that Bitcoin dominance is kind of taking over. And dominance can be a good or a bad thing. So dominance, to the downside, hey, if Bitcoin is plunging, it can grab you by the coat and say, you're coming with me. We're going to take you down. And vice versa. If it's going to the upside, hey, I'm taking you with me, altcoin. We're going to the moon. So dominance works both ways, with that said. So we can see a falling wedge that has really developed quite nicely since October of 21. And we can see that price action is now starting to breach this falling wedge. And that's usually a good bullish sign to see some price action to the upside. So we really need to take a peek at Bitcoin, though. This is what I am most interested in. So on the weekly chart, and I've been saying this for a really, really, really long time, since August, folks, since middle of August, I've been saying, folks, that, hey, and I'm going to reiterate this because it's good to keep this in the back of our mind. Historically, we have seen price action get a single bounce off the 50 moving average. But consequently, after price action fell below the 50 moving average, it has never been able to really hop back out. We always go into a bear market. You can see it comes back up and retests it, but then we go into a bear market. Here's the little mini 2019 run. This was a 2017, but here's 2019. Came down, we got the bounce, slipped into the black swan event known as coronavirus. And so here we are now with a really unique historic price action on the weekly chart. We have seen a possible bounce off the 50 moving average. So are we going to slip into the bear market and head down to the $20,000 mark with Bitcoin? Possibly. Now, we have never seen a double bounce off the 50 moving average. We have only seen the successful completion of a single bounce, and that is this bull run. So in future bull runs, are we going to see a double bounce going forward? That is the million-dollar question, quite literally. And so what I don't like about this, here's the things that I like about this. I like that, hey, we had some full body candles moving to the downside, but you can see buyers stepped in this whole way. And here's what I do like about it. Even though we do have these full body candles, we can see that the last 2 weeks, these wicks have really stopped right around this $47,000 level. So I like that about Bitcoin, but if we start falling, $44,000, $45,000 level and really stay in that area for the next couple of weeks, man, we have then fallen underneath the 50 moving average. And then I do think that we may see price kind of liquidate. But this time's different, right? That's what everybody says. And we can see that there is quite a possibility that there is a floor here. And we can see that there might be some sort of descending triangle that is forming. We are now looking at a 12-hour chart. So I do think that there is a potential chance for Bitcoin to kind of ping pong around down here and maybe move to the upside. It just really depends. And we really need to hold above this $46,800 level. Bitcoin pulled a very similar move previously to this. And we can see that right here, we had one hell of a corrective wave down to the 200 moving average. And here we had one heck of a corrective move down past the 200 moving average. So if we get a bounce, I highly suspect that price action would come up to retest this $54,000 level. The fact that we have such a huge cloud in front of us has me kind of worried. So I'm kind of hoping that right now we see Bitcoin maybe towards the end of December, like December 22nd, start to make its approach through the cloud. If it's going to retest this 200 moving average, we want price action to do so above the cloud. We want price action above the Ichimoku cloud. No questions asked. That's what we want, and I'm telling you guys this. So I do think that there is a possibility right now for Bitcoin to kind of bounce, but it wouldn't surprise me to see price really trade within this $46,900 level, somewhere in between the $49,000 level. Somewhere in there. If we see Bitcoin trading below 46,700, we might have some issues if it's there for a prolonged period of time. So I hope you guys found this video helpful as far as trying to figure out and navigate where the market could be going. Again, this is not financial or trading advice. I just want to illustrate to you guys what it is that I am seeing in the market right now. So big shout out to all the Patreons. Go and check me out on Collect. If you're interested in becoming a Patreon, it's $3 a month. It'll get your name, YouTube channel name, or business name up on this banner.